pick out the things that you're doing to hurt yourself, you know, drugs, alcohol, women, sex. Like, what is the thing that is you're using to hurt yourself? And he told me, and I said, do me a favor and let that go.
A lot of people in the world are going through something. And especially on this channel, it's the audience is very, very veteran heavy, and especially global war on terrorism vets, and just about everybody has experienced loss. And so you had mentioned earlier in the show that, you know, you'd lost a lot of friends to addiction. I've lost more friends than I can count to addiction and suicide. I mean, everybody knows about the, you know, the epidemic that's going on in the veteran community and first responders, and seems to be just spreading into everything. So what I want to ask you is, how do you deal with loss?
How I have dealt with loss, I think throughout my life has been different. And you know, I think when you're younger, you deal with it all wrong. You find every wrong way possible to hurt yourself. I think there's different ways people deal with it. They deal with it by hurting others, or they deal with it by hurting themselves. And so I feel like the sensitive souls out there who don't want to hurt others end up hurting themselves. And so they hurt themselves through addiction. They hurt themselves through cutting themselves. They hurt themselves through just total and utter self-destruction. And through that, you know, they're trying not to hurt other people. But through that, through the loved ones that care about them, they end up just, you know, destroying everybody else around them, because nobody can stop self-destruction except for the self, or divine intervention. So, I, you know, I think having a healthy outlet, such as like mixed martial arts, I encourage that to everyone, because that's what helped me. Or finding, you know, like that certain physical activity and that routine every single day that you stick to, that is your checklist. For instance, you know, I almost want to write a book that, you know, it's hard for people, some people, just to get out of bed for weeks at a time. They can't get out of bed. And I've been there, not being able to get myself out of bed. And then it starts with getting yourself, like when I lost my best friend in 2021, I think it was, or 2022. I couldn't get out of bed. I just sunk into this manic depression. And it took me about 3 weeks till I was able to answer a phone call, or, you know, like I just started to try to do those little regular things where you take the shower, you shave your legs, you take a walk, you know, try to like get your body moving. Because once you get your body moving and you start looking at the world and you start to do regular things like grocery shop again, and then you hit a place where you can't get out of bed again, you know? So it's like, you just handle it differently. People like you with, you know, a wife and kid have to maybe put on a different face than I've had to put on, which is hard, because I've gotten to hide my depression or my low points. But when you have a family and when you're the head of your household, that's just got to be so brutal to try to put on that brave face for your children and for your wife and keep going. But also, it could be maybe a nice distraction as well. Because being in your head for and alone in depression, I think, is where we find a lot of kids at, a lot of people at. They're able to disappear. And it might be the worst thing that they can do to themselves, because they'll just sink further and further into their manic depression. So I had somebody call me recently and say, you know, they were in a bad place. And I said, all right, well, just pick out the things that you're doing to hurt yourself, you know, drugs, alcohol, women, you know, sex? Like, what is the thing that is you're using to hurt yourself? And he told me, and I said, do me a favor and let that go. Give yourself a time frame to heal, so that, because the world's going to need you, and they need you to be healthy. We need more men and more women to be healthier than ever. And you're powerful and you're beautiful, and I need you to be healthy. So he said, okay. And he stopped drinking and doing whatever he was doing for about 8 weeks. And I saw him not too long ago, and and he was happy, and he was clean, and he was not hurting himself, and excited about the future. So that would be the one thing, is drop what you're using to hurt yourself, and then focus on control the controllables, right? I can control getting up and take a shower. I can control what I'm going to put in my body today. I can control going for a walk. I can control calling my mom, because I know that's a responsible thing to do. I need to do. I can control the controllables and let all the other chaos go. And you're not, I remember looking in the mountains in Montana and thinking, I got to get myself together. I'm not going to change the world by being an absolute wreck. So I remember thinking, like, I've been through a lot in the last couple of years, and I just remember thinking and looking in the mountains, and I'm like, I need to watch sunsets. I need to live, and I need to stop obsessing about things that I cannot control. And also, my utmost thing is Jesus Christ. My utmost thing is turning to God. If I don't wake up and I don't read my Bible in the morning, my whole day's a wreck. I'm hitting my head on cabinets. I'm almost like getting car crashes. Like, I'm literally just an absolute mess. And that's the one thing that, like, I know if I don't start off my day like that, then I'm, I feel like the whole day is not set off right. So that's personally what I do.
Have you ever thought about how that person that you're mourning would want you to live in those moments?
In the moments of
grief?
He would be so upset with me if he saw me crying. He passed 2 days ago, was his I guess his death anniversary, and he would just he didn't want anybody to cry for him ever, because he went through a lot too in his life. And don't cry for me. Don't you start, But a really beautiful thing happened. The last anniversary of his death, I had a beautiful moment where I had this incredible dream where we got to hang out and I got to see him. And we were hanging out in my dream, and it was just like wonderful. So, I think he's happy now, because I believe he's in heaven. I believe he loved Jesus, and I believe he had servant tattooed across his back, because he said that's the best thing you could possibly be in life, is a servant. He's incredibly special. So he's in a good place. And after he died, I just looked up. I was in Arizona. I just looked up and I could just hear him free of his body, and just could hear his big, heavy laughter all over the sky. And I just felt like he's free now, We're the ones that are trapped here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he would want me to, I just think he'd be laughing at how much trouble I'm causing down here. He wouldn't be surprised, but he'd be laughing with me.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.